really believe in the power of animation to transcend age, race, culture barriers better than almost any other entertainment medium. Relationships are everything. People work with people they like and know, and so if you're going to spend time and effort on anything, it is investing in people.
This season was brought to you by the Belize Public Utilities Commission. Did you know the Public Utilities Commission is mandated to manage the frequency spectrum of Belize? The PUC uses specialized tools to perform that task. The Telecommunications Monitoring Vehicle is specifically designed to detect, measure, and locate signals that actively use spectrum. These actions are taken to ensure compliance for authorized users and detect illegal use. The Public Utilities Commission. We continue to serve you with efficient and diligent services.
Vision and imagination are gifts bestowed on humanity. From ancient to modern times, everything that people have ever made is a result of imagination. Wonders upon wonders, solutions and ideas are all conceived in the mind. This new modern wonder in my city is a vision realized. Did you know, where there is no vision, people perish? Yet in my work, I see where there is vision, people thrive. So here's a 10-second tip to thrive. Look for wonders to ignite your imagination. Then use that gift to inspire a vision for your business and your life. Then go to work and make it happen.
Look into my eyes. Do you see fear? You come at me with sword and spear, but I come in the name of the God of Israel. Yes! Right between the eyes! Did you see that? Anyone? Of course not. Okay then, one more time. Tally, not now! I'm trying to protect us from this Philistine. Whoa! No, not that way. Come on. Back to your mom. Right, Philistine. Oh, wait! Right between the eyes. Oh, of course. That one you saw. Tally! Tally, no! I'm coming, girl! Whoa, easy! Shira! I will bring her home safely. Whoa! Hey, whoa, Tally, wait, no! There you go. I'm almost through. doesn't help. That does. Stop. Thank you. Yena haleni nafshi yeshobe yancheni bemgalet zedek leman shemo.
Welcome to another edition of the Creative Bundle Discussion Show. I am your host, Mervin Budram, and we will be with you for the next hour. I am super excited about today's guest, all the way from the other side of the world in South Africa. I love animation. I love the story of David, and take those two things and put them together. I think we have a perfect cake, if you want to call it that, right? And so today's guest, we're going to speak to the creator, one of the producers, and the creative team that's working on the David movie project. It's an animation project that's really good. I believe it's going to have a major impact in the world. It's going to help bring transformation to the world. I've only seen the previews of it, and I was like really drawn in. I was drawn into the story, drawn into just the message of it, and just how they captured those little nuances that we cannot overlook when we're reading the Bible. You know, you sometimes read the Bible and we tend to don't put ourselves in that space. And I think this team has done such an amazing job in capturing what was going on. So anyways, I don't want to tell you more about it. Let's get into the conversation. I want to welcome to the screen Miss Rita. She's going to speak with us about the process and just hear their journey and what they've been going through. So welcome to the Creative Bundle Discussion Show. Let's have Miss Rita join us.
Thanks, Mervin. So nice to be here. Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to have you. It's such an honor. As I said earlier, I love what you guys are doing. I love that you're taking a story that we've heard a lot. And this is one of those stories it's not new to many people, but you're bringing it in such a unique way. Tell us a little about why animation, like why, or before we even jump into that, let us hear, tell us about who you are, what you're doing, and then can you tell? I want to get into it, but yeah, tell us about who you are, what you're doing, and just help us to get to know you a little bit.
Amazing. I love your enthusiasm. Thank you so much. So yes, I'm Rita Mbanga, one of the producers of the David animated feature film. And I work with Sunrise Animation Studios. Have been here actually 20 years now, going on 20 years This year. It's been an incredible journey. We started off in Zimbabwe, and there we made a stop motion animated feature film called The Legend of the Sky Kingdom, which was our first film, and we used kind of junk and recycled material and made them into characters and told a story that way. That movie is on YouTube if anybody is interested in watching that. That was a good 20 years ago, though. And since then, we kind of stop motion is really a labor-intensive, incredibly beautiful medium, but a lot of interesting work goes into it. And we were like, there's got to be an easier way to tell stories. And so we did we went into 3D. So computer-generated animation, and in the last 20 years have done kind of a lot of different types of animation, have TV shows, feature films, We've done documentaries, commercials, and then obviously feature film development happening. And we're kind of producing two feature films right now at the same time. One is Jungle Beat Movie 2, kind of based, which is really exciting. Jungle Beat Movie 1 came out 2 years ago now. So the second film is in production. And then obviously the story of David that we're working on. But I'm also excited to talk about David. So I'll just segue into the question that you asked as well, about why animation, because it's very much it's quite an easy answer actually, because we really believe in the power of animation to transcend age, race, culture barriers better than almost any other entertainment medium. We just feel like when you tell an animated story, you're not alienating anybody. It's a very accessible medium, and your 2-year-old and your 92-year-old can kind of all watch it without any filters. And we really just believe that it's a powerful, powerful medium to tell any story, and people are kind of wide open, and that they'll accept, kind of your message without any pre-prejudices or anything like that. And so we love animation as a storytelling medium, and we just love that it brings families together. I can watch stuff with my 4-year-old son and my 74-year-old dad, and all three of us enjoy it. And so that is the power of animation. You have really broad reach. You guys watch it over there. We watch it in South Africa. I've got cousins in Australia who watch it, and everyone kind of, receives it. And so we feel like we have a particular responsibility as communicators in this medium, because you have such a wide reach, and you have, there's so much power, we believe, in animation. And so we take that responsibility seriously. And that's one of the reasons why we're making the story of David, because we just love, what a powerful, brave, expansive character he was, and how he lived after God's heart, and so that's why we're so excited to be telling this story.
Yeah. Why I love David, and we could talk a little bit more into why David, but here's why I love David. David was a man who, to me, showed transition in his life. He started as a shepherd. He worked as a shepherd. Then he ended up working in the courts of the king. So he had to learn how to adjust to that space, and then he became king. So like he's a perfect example of someone who kind of like elevate in their lives. You start one place and then you're elevating in your life, and you have to make adjustments. You have to learn new things. You have to hold on to your faith, your belief as you transition. I mean, there's so much I can say about David and why. So for you guys, when you were choosing David as a character, what was going on in your heart? What were you hoping to bring out from his own story and his journey?
That's a good question. We love how God says in the Bible, "I found in David a man after my own heart." And that's there's so much power in that. But also we love how he went from shepherd boy to king, as you say, and how he just, if you read the Psalms, right, he had such hardship in his life, but he just continued to look up, right, and he just. Praise was always on his lips, That's incredibly inspiring. But just to kind of take a step back. So Phil Cunningham, who runs Sunrise, and who this was the story of David, to tell the story of David, has been a long time passion of his. And if you ask him why, he will say, he grew up in the bush in Zimbabwe, and he experienced God as this like wild, expansive, beautiful, epic sunsets, dramatic sunsets, and, wild storms, and just like, thundering waterfalls, and that kind of expansive, passionate God, that's how Phil experienced God. But a lot of people experience God as like a kind of almost like a very strict headmaster, But when you read the story of David, you can tell that he experiences God, the way Phil does, right? Like, just as, he has all this courage, and he just like takes God at his word, and he's just this fearless, this from when he's a little boy, right? This fearless shepherd boy killing lions and bears, and then Goliath, which is the story that everybody knows. And David just has this boldness and this fearlessness in his character, because he believes God. And he loves God, and he knows God for who he really is. And so Phil's kind of reason for wanting to tell the story of David is to just show people like this is God, this expansive, loving, beautiful, protecting, faithful God, like this is our God. And so that's really kind of the main reason why we wanted to tell this beautiful story. And it's so exciting, like the story of David is so epic, and just the amazing, this little shepherd boy slaying this huge giant and then going on to become king. It's just an incredible story in every respect.
Yeah, there's so much packed in David's life, because I love what you said just now, from shepherd boy to king. That journey on a whole has so much lessons, regardless of if you're faith-based or not. There's so much you can go and look into his life in how he handled different circumstances. And he had failures. We all know about his failures, which again shows the humanity element, and being able to, after failures, kind of make the right choices to come back on track and get things back on track, right? And so wonderful story, wonderful. I think David was definitely a key person to kind of hone in on. But you said you mentioned Phil, and so let's talk a little bit about that, and Phil and the company, and kind of how you guys got started. Because when we were talking, and off air when we were doing our pre-interview, like you said something that jumped up to all of us. You guys didn't start as experts in this field. You guys were doing different things, and then you kind of decided, like, hey, we want to go here. This is what we're called to. And then you had to kind of step up and learn as you go along. Talk to us about that journey.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's been an amazing journey. So, well, Phil and Jackie, I guess, are the best kind of examples, seeing as they run the company. So Jackie is Phil's wife, and Phil was actually a farmer, a chicken farmer. He had studied agriculture, and was just going to be a farmer, and was farming. And his wife Jackie was like a scientist. She's an incredible kind. And one day Phil just said, like, let's make movies. Having never studied it, kind of living, trading chickens and eggs kind of thing. And Jackie she's like the bravest person I know. And she was just like, yes, let's make movies. And so long story short, they ended up, kind of closing down the agricultural business, closing down the business that made money to go into a business that didn't make money.
Entrepreneurs.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. Such incredible entrepreneurs. And started Sunrise. And a lot of us that kind of started in the early days, I'd studied broadcasting and was kind of, journalism was my thing. And I was on my way to being a broadcaster. And one of my other colleagues was also in agriculture. And so we have this beautiful kind of hodgepodge of backgrounds, our kind of writer-director was a copywriter and worked for an advertising agency. So kind of nobody really had any experience in animation. So it was really fun, steep learning curve. And the film I was telling you about a little earlier, The Legend of the Sky Kingdom, we had one script, didn't go through any rewrites or anything like that. Made the film, had it on a tape, and then we're like, what do we do? And we kind of started going to film markets and film festivals and literally selling the finished product, which, we learned the hard way, right? You never do that because it takes just as long to kind of sell a film as it does to make a film. So you almost start selling and marketing it as you start, before you start production. Those two things go kind of go hand in hand. And so, it's been an amazing learning curve. And I think what's been a privilege for all of us too is to kind of learn along the way, to have that space to do that, and to fail, and then to learn, and then to kind of get back up, and then have the opportunity to do it the right way has been an incredible experience for us, and just the best way to learn, I think. And so we all feel very lucky. Yeah,
I love that. So we said with David, from shepherd to king. We could say with Phil, from chicken farmer to movie maker, animator, right? Exactly. I love it because I think we are all in transition. This version of ourselves isn't the complete version. We are, there is a blueprint that God does have in store for us, and as we feel those inclinations and those promptings, we start make steps towards them, and transition happen, and we got to change, and we got to learn. I love what you said, learn as you go along, which is truly embracing the heart of a learner. We're not just going to school, get an education, and it's finished, but it's that continual learning and maintaining the heart of a learner as you go along. So you said a little bit about it just now, but talk to us. What were some of the lessons you learned in those earlier years, both as starting up this venture, coming on board, and as a business side of things, but then also as a company, as the movie making, animations, maybe things you've learned, like you just mentioned, start promote before the thing is finished, right?
Exactly.
So what kind of lessons did you guys learn in those earlier years? If you had to look back now and say, we wish we knew that,
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So one of the other things is and this is, I guess, a lesson for life is just as much as it is for our industry, but relationships are everything.
Yeah.
People work with people they like and know. And so if you're going to spend time and effort on anything, it is investing in people and investing in relationships. And so that kind of, it works always for us. I guess it works with your team because animation is a very long kind of cycle. And so any film takes like a minimum of 2 years to make, and you're working under relatively high pressure, with 50, 100, 150 people, and so having a good relationship, having a trusting, respectful, happy relationship with people is critical because you spend a long time together under, pretty high pressure. And then likewise, there's so many aspects to an animated film. So never mind all the different departments actually making the film, but then, then you've got the marketing side of things. You've got your PR team, for example, you've got your sales agents and your distributors, your exhibitors. So there's just a whole lot of people. It's this huge ecosystem.
Yeah.
And it's really important to invest in relationships and in getting to know people. And that's it's almost the biggest part of what it is that we do which is so wonderful, right? And the thing, just to kind of segue, the thing I love about that is that everyone's so different and everyone has such a different skill set,
Yeah.
Like I can't draw to save my life, you know what I mean? But I work with people who are like some of the best artists, literally the best artists in the world, and we have to work together, right? And I love that about it. But it's kind of go back to learning. So relationship is key. And start selling your film the day you start making it, actually before. And then one of the other big things that we've learned is, so with our movie Jungle Beat, we had sold it in a bunch of territories, and then COVID happened. So we'd sold it to a bunch of theatrical companies, and then obviously in 2020 all the theaters shut down, and so we kind of had to pull that back, and then we tried to kind of do it ourselves, and we kind of and we learned to be like, we were like, wow, we're a production company, that's for sure, and so much respect for sales companies and marketing companies, because we were doing a lot of the marketing. We hired an incredible marketing agency who worked with us, and but there's so much more that goes into that than we even began to understand. I'm pretty sure it was just the tip of the iceberg that we kind of were involved with and trying to kind of do it ourselves, having to have pivot with COVID. And so we learned a huge thing. It's like, okay, we're production, right? There's a reason everybody has these huge, big marketing and sales departments, and let's let them kind of do that incredible work. So, it really is just a really big, I've just said it before, but it's a huge ecosystem. And I just love how everybody has their skill and works together so beautifully to bring this, to bring a film literally from paper to screen. So much goes into it. And then, then the other learning, a big learning for us is, you'll fail a million times, but to not be disheartened, and to pivot when you need to, but just keep getting up. And we've had some films that we worked on for 12 years, it's a really long time. But if you're passionate about something, just keep knocking on that door, keep walking down that road, just never, ever, ever give up.
How do you guys stay motivated? I mean, you said it, you've been working on films for 12 years. How long has the David movie, you guys been working on that? And how do you stay motivated in situations like that, where you're working on a project and it's taking longer, or it might be going over an extended period of time?
Yeah. So, it's quite an easy answer for us. So I think this is the 8th year of us working on David. I think it was 2014 that we started. Because again, it's, you've got to do research, then you write your script, and, so it's a really long process. But we've been going for 8 years, and we are, we're just as fired up today as we were in 2014 about this film, if not more, because you've kind of done more, you're getting closer and closer. But staying motivated, I guess, is just believing in your dream and your vision, right? And it's so critical about the team you have around you.
Yeah.
You know, because if you ever have a day when you're feeling demotivated or anything, you know, just pick up the phone and talk to one of your colleagues or whatever, and just hearing how fired up they are really helps. But primarily it's believing in, you know, we believe, you know, God has given us the story to tell, right? And so we are super committed to doing it, you know, and we've had huge setbacks along the way, but we are so sure that this is what we're meant to be doing.
Yeah.
And even if it's hard, we just trust that God will give us what we need. And so we just take one step at a time. You know, we're not like, you know, yes, you've got to think of the end goal and having a finished film, right? But what we've even done is we've broken it down into kind of chapters. Okay, chapter 1, this is our goal. Chapter 2, this is our goal. Chapter 3, this is our goal. And so it's literally just taking, you know, kind of bite-sized chunks and doing what we feel is the next thing to do. And yeah, we're slowly getting there. You know, if we look back now, kind of what we've done, it's amazing. There's still a long way to go, but we can feel inspired and encouraged and motivated that we just have to take the next step. And we really believe we'll get there.
And that is amazing. That is amazing. I love that. You know, my brother-in-law, David Smith, he has an animation company here in Belize in our films, and I was giving him an unashamed plug there. And David, they did this, one of Belize's first animation film, Tequania and Duende, right? And so we had him on the show a few seasons back. But I see him do this, and I'm listening to what you're saying, and it's the same, the diversity of team and working with different people who works at different, like illustrators, animators, people who having to work with a wide array of people with different skill set. And then you guys are doing that even at a larger scale in that sense. So let's talk a little bit about team dynamics and kind of how that works. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Like I'm going to give you some scenarios, and you can how do you guys deal with this, right? So let's say just now, let's say a major setback comes. Maybe you can't hit your deadline, or something comes, a major setback comes that would affect the cash flow of the business. What or how do you go about addressing that with your team, and how do you keep people motivated in a scenario like that?
Well, I mean, the good thing is Phil and Jackie are very, very inspiring and motivational people. And so, and I think what's critical too is strength of communication, right?
Yeah.
And so what they are so good at is communicating soon. So if there's, you know, any kind of setback that looks like it might come our way, they will, you know, get the team together and say, guys, this is what looks like it's going to be happening. And so there's no surprises, you know, so it's not like, you know, so they will communicate, you know, which is fantastic. And I think that really, really helps. And I think it's really, really important because it's, you know, that's respecting the team, and, you know, guys have to make decisions for themselves and for their families. And so, you know, it's communicating soon and often, and and just respecting the team and needing, you know, when they need to know stuff. So I think, you know, and I guess one of the good things about the industry is you know, guys know, you know, kind of how it works. And so there's not often huge surprises because it's you know, if the funding does fall away, or if, you know, deadlines get pushed forward and there's a whole lot of pressure, you know, people are genuinely very understanding, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, but Phil and Jackie are so inspiring and just have such big vision that it's very easy to, you know, be like, okay, it's going to be hard for a little while, but that's okay. You know, we'll dig deep or whatever. They've just got so much faith, right? And such compassion, and are so wonderful with the team that it's very easy to stay motivated, you know, with those kind of leaders, you know?
Yeah. So leadership communication, I love that. Communicate, over-communicate, and communicate.
Yeah. Totally, exactly.
And I love that. Communicate. I love what you said earlier, as soon as something looks like it's going to happen, to start communicate from that point. So no surprises. I think that's a very great important leadership quality. And So scenario. So you guys just hit a major goal. How you have to celebrate and then get back to work. How do you do that? What does celebration look like? And how do you we had this big mountain top, but then we got to get back into the trenches and keep going. Like, what does that look like for you guys?
So I was just recently at the studio and we had a lamb on the spit.
A what?
A lamb on the spit.
Okay.
We call it a spit braai here.
Okay.
It's basically like someone comes in and like roasts a lamb outdoors,
Okay. Nice.
And you have like a get together and everyone, comes together and has a big chat and have a little party and there's balloons and cake and eats lamb and kind of hangs out and connects. And so I guess why this one was particularly special is because we've kind of all been apart for the last 2 years, everyone's been working remotely. And so, now that things are slowly starting to open up over here, it was a really nice opportunity. It was still obviously, distanced and you have to do all the COVID protocols or whatever, but it was just nice to see everybody in one space, and have a bit of a celebration, So we are big, and Jackie is really good at this, at celebrating milestones. So birthdays, everyone gets a shout out, on the studio WhatsApp group or on our Slack channels, and kind of work anniversaries, we'll celebrate that. And definitely, like one of my colleagues is expecting a baby, and so we like throw a baby shower for her. So we're really big at because it's your life, right? It's not something separate to your life. And so Jackie's really good at making the workplace and the company and Sunrise a place where we celebrate each other's victories and milestones and things like that, and it just makes it feel like a big family.
That's super awesome. That's super awesome. My wife does that, and I think the wives are better at doing those kind of areas. I think when we went through a stretch where she had to be away from the office for a month or so, and I was like, I really, really need you here. Like, it makes a big difference just to have that partner, and she kind of covers those areas for sure. Miss Rita, like I just really love the family culture that you guys have created. Like, what can you say or speak into in terms of culture and how to build a culture within your company, and what are some key ingredients that you would say need to be in there, and things that you would need to kind of maybe keep away because it can bring destruction to the culture within your company or your organization or your team?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I mean, I'll just speak for the things that I think that So one of the things is celebrating, but milestones in everybody's life, right? So it's keeping it as not as something separate, like your birthday it's who you are and we celebrate you, right? Whether you're at work or you're at home, so I guess it's the things you do as a family, right? So it's communicating well and often, it's celebrating milestones, small and big, and it's it's just a lot of respect for people, and it's a relationship, right? So it's time spent with people. So again, Jackie's really good at, pick up the phone. Hey, I've noticed you're looking sad the other day. Is there anything you want to talk about? Can I take you for a coffee? Which is incredible. So it's and then we do a lot of so like strength finders. We all did that, and so it's where you it's just to help you understand each other, right? So what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Okay, this is your area of strength. Let's move you into that area so that you are functioning at your optimal. You're going to be happier. You're going to work better. Okay, this is your weakness. Okay, is it something that you want to work on and grow? And are you comfortable working on that? Or is it something that we should, let's move you out of that area kind of thing? And so there's a lot of effort and energy is put into really understanding who people are and moving them into that lane. Like we've got creative people who really love and have the aptitude for business. Okay, so how do we bring them in? We've got business people who really have a super strong creative arm. Okay, let's get them in the creative meetings, And we've actually hired some people who come from like one department, but are really passionate about another department. I've never had the opportunity. And so we're like, okay, the area that you're passionate about, come and work with us in that area. And it's been just the most amazing results, And so, the leadership is really, really intentional about really understanding the person and where you are going to thrive the most, and putting you there. And if you're unhappy, then talking about it and, working hard to kind of make a change. And so, a lot of energy is spent really knowing the team and where they tick the best, right? Because then you're going to be happy, and then you're going to work well, and so I guess that's it really is, again, it goes back to the relationship, right? It's just really having a genuine relationship with people, so really knowing people. And I just, and even I'm an example, like when I started working at the company, I was 21, I think, and I've, and they just, Phil and Jackie just really took time to get to know me, and my role has changed over the years, and, as I have changed as a person, and it's been really incredible, I have felt really seen, and I felt really known, and I felt really loved, really valued. And so it's like, it's my family.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing. That's just hearing that, like, that's everything. I know that every company, every organization, I know we want that in our company, and that's what we're working towards. And I know we're doing these interviews for our guests and our viewers who's watching, to help inspire, motivate, and transform their lives, their business, their venture. But a lot of it is for me as well. I'm learning and I'm going on, we need to implement that in our company. We need to do that in our company, right? And so I think it's key what you said, that's those relationships and building, as you were saying that, what I heard, like making sure that people are heard, making sure that they're seen. I think those are key. Yeah. They're appreciated, they're loved, that that they know that they're secure, their space is secure. I love, and then there's room for growth. Like I love how you said you started when you're 21 and you've moved into different areas. So there's room for growth within the company. I think those are key, definitely key ingredients.
And that's so rare, hey?
Yes, it is.
To kind of have done that. It's super rare. And I guess the thing why it's just so amazing as well at Sunrise is, it's so the investment in people is genuine, and it's really because Phil and Jackie feel like people are the most important thing. Like it's people over process, it's people over product, it's invest everything in people, which is it's so rare. But it really is it's really amazing to work in an environment like that.
How does that work with clients? Because I know sometimes there's some scenarios. I've had scenarios where clients come in and they're rude to the staff, or they're demanding, or they're not as patient with the process as well. How do you guys navigate situations like that?
Shining Star Health Center, located in Spanish Lookout, is committed to providing you with the very best holistic solution to any ailment, regardless of who you are, where you come from, or what you're going through. For more information, contact Shining Star Health Center at 672-3536 or 670-3536.
Vision and imagination are gifts bestowed on humanity. From ancient to modern times, everything that people have ever made is a result of imagination. Wonders upon wonders, solutions and ideas are all conceived in the mind. This new modern wonder in my city is a vision realized. Did you know, where there is no vision, people perish? Yet in my work, I see where there is vision, people thrive. So here's a 10-second tip to thrive. Look for wonders to ignite your imagination. Then use that gift to inspire a vision for your business and your life. Then go to work and make it happen.
Customer over staff, or is it a balance, or case by case scenario? Like what does that look like for you guys?
So I guess with an animation studio, because there's so many people, and there's such a there's like so many steps in the process. There's only a couple of departments that are kind of outward facing, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And so, like the marketing team will deal with, kind of external people, and maybe, then maybe on the back end again, but, and obviously the producers, right, will deal with, financiers and, sales agents and, distributors and things like that. But the majority of the team doesn't really deal with like clients or anything like that,
Okay.
But then again, right, it's people are the most important thing. And so it is, it is, it's respect, right? It's respecting other people and then protecting your family,
Yeah.
I
love that.
is a big part of it as well. So, and Phil is great at that. Yeah.
I love that. Respect people and protect your family. That is, I think that sums it up. That's a good principle and value to embrace. And I think that translates into any situation. Respect people, protect your family. When we were doing research on you guys, and what was very inspirational for us and part of why we wanted to get you guys on the show. One, you guys are from South Africa, originally in Kenya. Zimbabwe, sorry. Originally, I was talking to someone in Kenya this morning. That's why. Well, originally in Zimbabwe, and then you managed to kind of take an idea and birth it and bring it into fruition, and then you're having this global impact coming from that background. We normally see on media, or you're out of North America, out of the US or Canada or those spaces, you don't often see that, and that's inspirational for us coming from Belize. We're a small country. We're typically known as a third world country, which I tend to contest now. We're growing, but the reality is there's a lot of dreamers and visionaries here who need to know that, hey, you can do it. You can do it. So speak to us, speak to entrepreneurs, speak to visionaries, dreamers here in Belize from a small country, but have a big global dream. Like, what would you say to them?
Well, it's easy because I would say, look at the story of David, right?
Yeah.
He's a shepherd boy. He's on the side of a hill tending to his sheep. His brothers are like, you're a kid, stay away, look, big boys go to war, like literally it's such a great analogy. And we totally feel that, like we feel, we're David. And then there's like, there's the world of media, which is, there's, Hollywood, Nollywood, Bollywood, there's this like whole world of incredibly powerful big media, and here's a bunch of us from Zimbabwe, right? Literally like the last country on the list, like literally. And so, but we just, we have this dream and this passion and this belief, right? Like and who can tell us not to go for it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's that, it's such a great, and we're always kind of comparing ourselves to that. We're like, we're David and, we're this little boy, but we've got, as you say, we've got this vision in our heart and this belief, like, and this dream, and, there's a lot of kind of cliched sayings, like if you dream it, you can achieve it and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like, if it's burning in your heart, like just do everything you can to go for it and get it. And especially if it's a desire that you feel like God has put there, he's faithful. And I love that scripture that says, he will give you the desires of your heart. But I kind of, interpret that as like, not only will he like give you those desires, but he will initiate in you what he wants to fulfill in your life, and then he will equip you for it, like I'm a mom of 2 little kids and sometimes I'm like, like, do I have what it takes to like raise these kids like in the way that God wants them to be, and then I just like, I'm just reminded like by the Spirit that like, if, because God has put me in this position as a mother, like he will absolutely equip me with everything it is that I need to raise these kids the way he wants them to be raised, he will put on my heart the things that we need to do and say and how we need to bring these kids up. And so it's just but it's, it's a constant, as it says in the word as well, like renew your mind daily, It's literally every day. Like if you're feeling overwhelmed or if you're feeling like, how am I ever going to achieve this or achieve that? It's just like, God, I feel like you've brought me to this place and I really trust that you will give me what I need to accomplish this, or to be the mom I want to be, or to build the business I want to build, and it's just having this unwavering faith that he who has promised is faithful.
Yeah. One of my favorite scripture verses from Philippians 1:6, that he who began a good work will bring it to completion, will bring it to fruition. And so I always kind of hold on to that, and the work isn't done, it's not finished yet. And God will work to bring it to completion. So I kind of learned to rest in that over years. I love that you brought in the fact that, you're a mom of 2 kids, because it's often it doesn't look glamorous, right? Family, kids in media, Hollywood, all of that. And yet we have our kids. I have 3 girls. And how do you guys, and I'm sure other members of the team have their family, how do you guys kind of manage the family life, home life, with the demands of the industry that you're in? And do you guys bring your kids in? What is that like? And I'm asking that because I grew up in an entrepreneurial family home. Both my parents had businesses, so we went to school, come home, work on the tire shop, do meat pies. Where we were in it. But for me, looking back, no, I've learned so much from it. When I was doing it, I was very not happy. Like, oh, we got to do this again. So
I know, right?
Talk to us a little bit about the family dynamics, home life, work life, and managing that.
No, it's a critical part of our company. Is absolutely the kids are in and there and around, and it's so wonderful. And I guess one of the nice things I think globally about one of the positives of COVID was that it kind of became acceptable, right? Because everyone's working from home, and so kids will come into the room. I mean, we think we all saw that clip that went viral, with, I think he was a broadcaster and his kid came in or whatever, but that's been all of us over the last couple of years, I've definitely had a lot of moments where my kids have come in and needed me, and everyone at work is complete. They're like, oh, hey, I see a little boy in the background, come and say hi, And so it's been wonderful, with everybody working from home. I think that's been great. But that aside, we definitely have like a family is all welcome policy, and it's your kid's birthday. Okay. Don't come in today or whatever. Of course, spend time with them, because it's most important. And again, it's your life going by. Right. And if you're able to kind of, being a parent, being a mom, is, for everyone in the company, like that's your most important job and your most important role, and so the company really, really respects that, and it's really phenomenal, and it's so nice to go to the studio and there's kind of kids running around playing with the plush animals, or and also obviously being animation, right? We've got a perfect test audience as well.
Exactly.
So I'm often like to my little boy, like, come watch this. What do you think? Or like we were testing a little character. We designed a character, and so the design team sent it to me saying, please ask your son what he thinks of this character. Which one does he like better? And so we absolutely, in more ways than one, right? Not just like we all love each other like family, but like our families are involved. We all know each other's spouses and children, and a lot of in Cape Town, a lot of them go to school together, and so it's absolutely, it's a family company in so many ways.
And awesome, Ms. Rita, it was such a pleasure talking with you. I know I've gained a lot from this conversation. I'm inspired and I'm motivated as well, and I know what we're doing will be transformed from this, right? As we're wrapping up, let's go back to the David movie. Like, what can people expect? When are you guys projecting for it to be ready? How can people learn more about it? How can people partner with it? Like, if people want to give, because I know you guys have a funding page up. So like, let us know how people can partner, engage, collaborate with you, and even know more about the story.
Amazing. Thank you so much for asking. So we have a website. It's thedavidmovie.com. So if anyone wants to see some of the production art that we've done, or any of the development work, or meet some of the team, that's a great place to go. And that's where everyone can watch the demo as well. We've got it up there. So that's thedavidmovie.com. And then in a couple of months, we will be doing another kind of round of crowdfunding. And so just keep your eyes on the website for more information on that. and expected release will be 2024. So still a good 2 years away.
Awesome.
But we've got, obviously we've got an Instagram. We've got Instagram, we've got Facebook and all of that. So if you want to just follow us on our social handles, then that's a really good way to kind of keep up to date with what's happening and release schedules and things like that. So a couple of places to stay connected to us, which obviously we would love.
Awesome. Well, I do want to encourage everyone watching, go check it out. You've seen the preview on the demo reel here on the show, but if you want to go and kind of watch it again with your kids, with your family, go to the website, check it out. We'll have the link running right here on the screen. We'll also post on our website, creativemondaysshow.com, a link to their site and to their link and how you can give, because they do have an option for you to partner with them, and we do want to encourage you to partner with them in this venture. This is something I believe that's going to be transformation to so many people. So we do want to encourage you guys to connect in and collaborate and partner with. Ms. Rita, any final remarks or comment as we're getting ready to wrap up?
No, I mean, sorry, I said no, but yes, one kind of thing that I would just, love to encourage people, like, we really feel like we're David, in this, and we just really believe that God is bigger, and, kind of as David said, you dare defy the armies of the living God,
Yeah.
So just encourage people, if there are any giants in your lives, just take a moment and don't focus on the giant, but focus on the God who is way bigger than the giant.
Yeah.
And he will absolutely come through for you. So be proud to be David. Yeah. Your giant is nothing.
Such an amazing way to wrap up this episode, and I just want to encourage you guys and that translate into every era, whether in your personal lives, your entrepreneurial journey, your faith journey. If there's giants, don't focus on the giant. Focus on the God who's bigger than the giant. And with that said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and being with us for this episode of the Creative Monday Discussion Show. We definitely appreciate you choosing to watch the show, choosing to be with us, and we definitely will see you on the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe as well to our YouTube channel, our mailing list. Don't forget to follow TNC, So Arise TV, as well as Caribbean Invest TV. We want to thank our partners for really helping us to broadcast and amplify the message of the show. With that said, I want to say God bless you. Have a good day, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Vision and imagination are gifts bestowed on humanity. From ancient to modern times, everything that people have ever made is a result of imagination. Wonders upon wonders, solutions and ideas are all conceived in the mind. This new modern wonder in my city is a vision realized. Did you know, where there is no vision, people perish? Yet in my work, I see where there is vision, people thrive. So here's a 10-second tip to thrive. Look for wonders to ignite your imagination. Then use that gift to inspire a vision for your business and your life. Then go to work and make it happen.
Did you know the Public Utilities Commission is mandated to manage the frequency spectrum of Belize? The PUC uses specialized tools to perform that task. The Telecommunications Monitoring Vehicle is specifically designed to detect, measure, and locate signals that actively use spectrum. These actions are taken to ensure compliance for authorized users and detect illegal use. The Public Utilities Commission. We continue to serve you with efficient and diligent services.